Back to school, to prove to dad I'm not a fool. Got my shoes tied tight, my lunchbox packed. I hope I don't get into a fight. All right, I'm done with that. I love Billy Madison, love that movie. When I think about getting prepared, that little song will not leave my head. So when I think about the spring market, obviously he's going back to school, so that's the fall. But when I think about the spring real estate market, I absolutely know that it is crazy out there, and I want my clients and the people that I love to absolutely be prepared. So we're gonna build you a toolkit today and absolutely crush this one. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. Let's engage a little bit. Shoot me a comment. What do you think of this video? Share it if you feel the need, but I absolutely appreciate you. If you are interested and want to have a conversation about preparing yourself for this market, the next market, whatever that may be, absolutely shoot me a DM or comment below and let's have that conversation and let's get you to the top and build financial freedom through real estate together. All right, let's dive in. We got buyers, we got sellers. We're gonna jump into this real quick here. So let's talk about buyers. The first thing is self-reflection. As a buyer, you need to have some self-reflection. What's your living situation look like? Do you have a backup plan? When's your lease up? And whether this is 18 months from now or 6 months from now, or hopefully at least 3 months from now, look at that situation. Know if you have a backup plan, because the timeline is going to be determined by this. We can't have homeless clients as a real estate agent. That's really bad on our resume. So we want to make sure that the timeline is nailed down. The next thing we need to do is merge the timeline with the financial piece. Are you ready to buy a house? Do you have funds enabled to do that? Can you get down payment assistance? So we're going to connect you with a lender. They're going to look at your financial situation. And if it's not today, let's make it tomorrow, right? If you're not ready to buy in 3 months or 6 months when your lease is up, but you could be in 18 months. Let's build a plan. Don't be a stranger. You got to talk to these people. You got to talk to lenders. You got to put all of yourself out there with credit and your finances, which is very difficult. But if you can have professionals like ourselves who help people get into homes every single day and believe in home ownership and understand that your value and your worth is drastically decreased if you're not owning a home, at least one home. We have to dive into that, make a plan, and get you to where you need to get to. After that, let's talk about geographical anchors. Okay, we know the finances. Now let's look at geographical anchors. Do we have to be in a certain neighborhood? Do we have to stay in a certain location so your kid can stay in a school that you love? Or do we not want to be in a certain place so they can go to a different school, or whatever that may be? Do you have a job that you have to be within a certain distance of? Whatever that may be, let's look at those geographical anchors, compare them to the financial situation, look at the market, which we'll dive into next here, and make sure that we can actually make this happen. So as a seller, the things are kind of different, right? It's a little bit the same. We obviously have the living situation, the timeline piece down. We kind of have a little more control of that. Next, we have the financial situation. Obviously, property values have increased a ton. You probably bought a house for $500,000, maybe it's worth $800,000 and you're looking to move up. Well, obviously your $800,000 price point, if you're looking to move up and not move very far, you need to jump up in price point. So maybe we're above $1 million or whatever that may be. Can we do that financially? Does it make sense? Would it make sense to expand our house? What's that situation financially, and what's that look like? And then obviously the geographical anchors, where we're going, make a plan. It's a huge trend right now, especially from Denver and Colorado, for retirees to sell their home here, move to a cheaper location, maybe the Midwest or somewhere else where the home values are a little bit lower. Maybe they can sell their house here, take the cash and put it into a new house, and still have some left over if it's in a different area or a different city or whatever that may be. So what are we doing next? What's the geographical anchor? Does that make sense? Does that plan work for you? And then what's your end game for both buyers and sellers? Like, what's your plan? As a buyer, are you looking to have a primary residence and just continue to move up and use your equity, build until you're in your dream home? Or are you looking to build an investment empire? You're looking to collect rentals and things of that nature and develop some residual income. Absolutely two very great things to do. Whether either strategy is great, but we need to know that, because if we're looking as a buyer to build an empire, maybe this house doesn't really matter. Maybe some of those must-haves become, that would be nice to have, because if you're only going to live there for a year, or two and continue to stack those rentals, or if you're a seller and you want to, stack rentals and you don't want to sell your house, then it's a whole different situation. We don't have that equity necessarily to draw from. We can use financing to get some of that and access some of that. So that's huge. What's your end game? So know that as well before you dive in. Next, we're going to talk about the market and understanding the market and understanding the micro markets, how much your house is going for over, what does the bidding process look like in those areas, what's going on? Because, we all see on the news that we're, every house, houses are going for 6 figures over and everyone's waiving inspection and all this stuff. What's all that mean? Okay. What does that mean to you as a buyer? Do we have the funds to have an appraisal gap or anything like that? Or do we not? And what's that look like? And, how many houses are coming back on the market and so on? Or if we're selling, I will tell you, what's that look like? Are we going to put it on the market? A lot of things go into getting 6 figures, sometimes more over asking. And a lot of times it's just because they price it low and the agents want to generate that demand, which is silly, because we don't need 30, 40, 50 offers on a house. We don't need to make your house the, neighborhood billboard. If we price it aggressively, price it appropriately, and we can, settle in the 5 to 10 offer range, I think we can get what we want. So that's just all about planning and, how we're doing that. So when you're looking at the market from both ends, it's very important. And then obviously as a seller, if you're selling in the same market you're buying in, understand that you're going to be on the other side of that coin, as you move forward. So huge understanding of the market is important. I work hard on this channel. If you ever need to have questions about the market, just come to the channel. We do market updates every month. Shoot me a DM. I would love to talk to you, especially when it gets to that micro market by zip codes, and we can do all kinds of stuff with that. So after we have an understanding of the market, then we're going to dive into building that A team. And what's that A team look like? And why do we need it? Why is it important to have a creative lender? Why is it important to have an available, thorough inspector? Why is it important to have contractors that can both give you quotes on something you're buying and maybe do some work on the things you're selling? If you're selling, a lot of those houses, newsflash, that are up on the, those stories that we're reading about, those are houses that are adequately staged, adequately updated, and the deferred maintenance is completely taken care of. So we run a cost analysis. What's it look like if we take care of this, put a new kitchen in or add a bedroom or put an egress window in the basement or whatever that may be? Let's run a cost analysis and make sure that you're ready for that. But it takes an A team to do that. And obviously your realtor, I know a guy, if you're interested, but absolutely build that team and start with a, professional. And if you're not in my market and you like what I have to say, let me find you somebody that works as hard as I do and works like I do so that they can help you. And then I would also earn a referral fee from that. So those are absolutely options. It starts with a real estate professional, a realtor, and then the creative lending is huge, especially for buyers. Great inspectors that can fit you in and, kind of bend their schedule to make things work for you so you can have shorter deadlines. And then contractors, of course, on either side of the equation is great to know. I happen to have a list of industry professionals. I challenge my business partners, or my partners, they're not my business partners, but my industry partners, to be the best that they can be, do the best that they can so that you are ready to roll when the time comes. And then the next thing is just know what to do before you shop, when you're under contract, and after you shop. How to take care of that house after you've purchased it, how to take care of that house so that it's better for market when you're, going to sell it. Obviously what to do when to refinance. You don't want to continually refinance your home, because even though it pretends like it's free, they just put their fees on the loan. So you are paying for it with interest. So understand that we can build a whole plan, but also know that don't just, take that clickbait. Don't just, fill out that life insurance for your, house that you get shortly after you move in and insuring your mortgage and that stuff. Talk to the people, educate yourself, and make sure that you are doing the best thing for that investment. Because if we just treat a home like a roof over our head, we are losing money and leaving money on the table absolutely every time. So just kind of have that piece. Obviously, lean on that A team, to continue to support. If your realtor, your lender, or your inspector is done the day after their services are complete, it's an absolute mess. You've got to make sure that you are leaning on them for every step of the way. Lean on somebody that knows what the market is, that knows, what we're doing here, and has your best interest in mind for sure. Now let's think about that. All those steps that I just went through and all those tools for your kit, only one of them is actually market and time specific, and that's knowing what the market is. So we can help build this plan starting today for you, and we can give you these tools, whether you're buying in the spring market or the fall market or the summer market, whatever that may be. But as long as you have these plans and you have this foundation, then we can just factor in the market and what's going on and continue to support you through your decision making and help that out. All right, if you're ready to build your spring real estate market survival kit, absolutely now is the time. We are already feeling the spring buying season increase here. But I am available. Please shoot me a DM, comment, and I'd be happy to build that kit with you so that you can survive and actually thrive in this real estate market. Thanks for tuning in. Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty. Look forward to serving you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.